What's interesting is I was always kind of sad because I thought my daughter like didn't have any friends, and a lot of mothers of kids with autism, they think something similar. And then comes to find out she's been having friends her whole life, and she just meets up with them at the Hill.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there when I went,
What is the Hill for people that don't know?
it's this ethereal place that you're able to meet with others, and a bunch of teachers are there, other beings. Some people, some of them are human but never were born. Some of them are angelic type creatures, and yeah, they all have kind of these jobs there. Like my daughter says she's a volunteer, so she kind of helps when people are ascending. And you don't have to have autism to go there. Anybody can go. You just kind of have to ascend. I still haven't gone there myself, but I've met people that have. There was this one story where this one woman, she says to me like, "Hey, can I talk to your daughter?" Like, so I'm on Zoom with her. And so I bring Lulu down, and she says to my daughter, like, she's never met her before. And she says, "Hey, do you recognize me?" And my daughter's like, "Yes." And she's spelling it out. And she goes, "How do you recognize me?" She goes, "You were teaching at the Hill." And I'm like, wow. Really? And then the woman goes, "And what was I teaching?" And I was like, "What the heck?" And then I can't remember what my daughter said, but the woman said, "That's right. I was trying to teach a song." And then she says, "Can you sing the song?" And my daughter starts singing. And then she's like, "That's right. That does sound like what the song sounds like." And then she goes, "Can you name the song?" And my daughter just describes what the song was about. She didn't actually say the name. She just describes it. And she goes, "Yeah, that is what the song's about." And I was like, this is insane. This is the first time I've heard of someone that wasn't on the spectrum going there. And she goes, "Well, I don't know how much I'm not on the spectrum." So she said she was saying, "I probably am on the spectrum," the woman. But yeah, like my daughter says anyone could go there. And I've met a couple of people that could speak that has actually been there. And yeah, she keeps telling me, my daughter, every day, like they're waiting for you. Like, come on. Like also these eavesdroppers, she calls them. So eavesdroppers are people or beings that they use telepathy. They're transporting themselves, and which anyway, she said that they influence, when we ask, but I don't know if you know who Sean McNamara is. He actually kind of teaches blindfold vision, and he teaches telekinesis. And
Sean McNamara?
Yeah. So I woke up one day, and he's like on my list of friends, but I've never really had a conversation with him. And I woke up one day and I had this strong sense of like, I'm supposed to reach out to him. And I didn't even understand why. And so I reach out and I said, "Hey, I'm wondering if you wanted to talk to my daughter." And this is before my daughter really got out there with her telepathy. And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, and I said, "Yeah, he's like, I've actually been listening to the Telepathy Tapes a lot." And I said, "Oh, my daughter actually has telepathy." And so we get on the call, and he told me that for the past few days, he had just listened to the Telepathy Tapes, and he said for the past few days he's been talking to the Hill and saying, "Hey, my name is this. Here's my phone number. If you guys need any help, reach out." And so I asked my daughter. She was right next to me, and I said, "Hey, so did you do you know why I reached out to him? Why I felt that strong sensation to reach out?" And she goes, "Yeah, we heard him, and you were the quickest way to answer him. Like it was." And so they were the ones influencing me to go and do it. And so that's happened a lot where I'm highly influenced, and I feel this strong sensation to do something. And she would say it's them at the Hill using me because I'm the closest way. I'm the closest way to get the message across or something.
Wow.
So that's happened a lot too.
Has she ever described to you like other kids that she's met on the Hill that she's talked to that you were like able to eventually like meet in real life?
Yes. Most of the people, it's hard to like perfectly validate it, but most of the people that I come across that have kids like this, it's because the kids kind of brought us together. Like, for example, my friend in New Jersey, I hadn't talked to her since high school. And I remember one day I was doing a demonstration video for Contact in a Desert. And I remember out of nowhere, she came to my mind strongly. And I sent her, I said, "Hey, I don't know why, but I feel like sending this video to you of Lilu demonstrating telepathy." I hadn't talked to her since high school. And turns out like she had just prayed, said she has an autistic son, couldn't speak. This is the same one that went to that camp. But anyway, turns out she has an autistic son that couldn't speak, and I had no idea. And she's never heard of telepathy. She never heard of spelling to communicate, nothing. Like, she was trying everything in the world. And so she had prayed, help me to be able to reach him and to be able to communicate with them. I sent that to her within a half hour. And I had no idea why I was sending it. I hadn't talked to her in years. We connect. And turns out, this is from Lidu's side. She's saying, like, he was telling her, because I was the closest to his mom, he was telling Lidu to influence me to reach out to the mom. And what's interesting is when we were on the call together, Lidu was basically, he couldn't speak yet. So I had Lidu kind of telepathically pick up what he was, his mom would ask questions and Lidu would answer the questions by reading his mind. Like, he would tell her the answer.
Wow.
And what was interesting is with telepathy, it's so fast. Like, they get the information really quickly, and it takes so long for them to translate and to put it into spelling. And so,
right.
But I remember I'm sitting here talking to the mom, and the two kids are just kind of going like that. And then out of nowhere, my daughter says, "Mom, I want the picture of the dog," or and so I get the picture of the dog, and I knew, so my daughter had painted a picture of a golden retriever, and we went on. It's a long story short, but this is how she got her service dog. We were on the news and we were surprised with the service dog. It's just a long story. But all she says, it's just like within 2 minutes, she goes, "Mom, I want the picture of the dog." And then I show it. And then I said, "Lidu, did you guys," it was obvious that she had just told him the entire story within that 2 minutes. And then his mom was like, "Yeah, he loves golden retrievers." And he was the one that, Lidu said he was the one that wanted to see the picture. It was, all of that was in 2 minutes, but it took her like so long to describe why so yeah. And for them to take these incredible concepts and then put it down into like a phrase, it's a lot of work, especially since it's hard for them to spell. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, they get worried, when I say that, she has access to my mind and stuff. And I'm just used to it. I'm used to going, if there's a place with a bunch of spellers, I'm just going in there knowing they're all reading my mind. And I don't care, because I have the highest of respect for them and love for them. And my daughter does too. But they're like, "Well, what about adult thoughts and stuff?" I'm like,
right. What about naughty thoughts? Like, I get worried. Wouldn't you get worried about that?
Not at all, because she's seen it her whole life. But it's like,
gosh, the craziest thing.
Well, if you see your parents doing something gross and naughty, you're going to turn away. And that's what she says. She says, if I see something I don't want to see, I turn away. And I just expect that. And also, because my husband hated the idea of her being able to read his mind. And because he did it with her, like, for the first time. He's like, "All right, just try it." So he gives her the letterboard one day. He goes, "Go ahead. He's thinking of an apple. She spells out apple. He's like, anybody could have guessed that. Because he said, like, "Tell me a fruit." And then he thought of a tamarind next. And he gives it to her, and she immediately spells tamarind. And he's like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "Lidu, how do I turn this off?" He's like, "I don't want you to read my mind. How do you turn it off?" And then she kept trying to tell him, "Well, we see everything." Like, she's like, if you have a bad thought, basically, if you're thinking something mean, we have the ability to think of why you thought the mean thought. And there's always a good reason why something negative is going on in your head.
Yeah.
And so she says, we see the whole picture. So there's no judgment or anything. And he's like, "I don't care. I want to turn it off." That was his response, but he's just kind of used to it now. But that's how it is. Like, I know she doesn't judge any of my thoughts. Like, if it's anything like negative or naughty or something, she does not judge it at all. The only time she says anything is if she knows I'm about to do something that's going to mess up my path. And then she'll say, "Mom, if you do this, you're going against the teachings." She's only done that like twice.
Yeah.
And to her, it was a big deal, because her life mission is to get telepathy out there. And to let people know, like, hey, we're going to evolve as a species. And this is her life mission. So if I'm doing something that's going to take me off, she'll tell me. But it's only happened like twice.